birthed my infant head when sleeping on my cradle bed, and tears of sweet affection shed. My mother, when pain and sickness made me cry, who gazed upon my heavy eye and wept for fear that I should die. My mother.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Rejoicing Family Podcast. My name is Olugbenga Ogunleye, your host, and this is a special edition for our mommies and mothers in this week of the Mother's Week, and I'm joined today by three beautiful, lovely mothers. I'll let them say hello to you themselves. From my immediate right, I've got
Deborah Makinde is my name. A mother of two. I've got a 4 and a 3-year-old.
Oh, that's Mrs. Deborah Makinde. Hi, you're welcome to the TRF podcast show.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hi, so.
Hello, everyone. My name is Adejumoke Adebola. I'm a mom of 6-year-old.
Okay, you're welcome, mom of 6, Mrs. Ade. Okay, Adejumoke. And then,
Hi, my name is Mrs. Sandra Agomo. I'm a mom of 19 months.
oh, okay. So we're joined with very young, beautiful mothers here. We're very lucky to have them. You're welcome to the TRF podcast show.
Thank
Are you happy? Are you excited to be here?
Super happy.
Super happy. I like to hear that. I mean, it's a Mother's Week and you're mothers.
I know.
I wish I was a mother. I mean, on a day like this.
Really?
But man, okay, maybe not. I'm happy as a father, as a dad, as a man. You're welcome once again. So we're looking at paying a special tribute to the mothers. I mean, it's not easy to be mothers, right? Is it?
No.
Full-time job.
It's a full-time job and you never quit, right?
No holiday.
Oh, yeah. So let's appreciate our mothers, really. Let's start by talking about our own mothers. I mean, so when you were young, you were under your moms. How did it feel like? Tell us first the most fun things you have about your mom that you can remember. What's the most fun thing ever about mommy, or whatever you call her? Feel free.
Okay. From my end, my mom was mommy, just mommy. And one fun thing I can remember about her is giving us the best, going to any length to give us that best, She wasn't so educated. So if something is happening and, maybe educated friends are doing this and that, she comes home and says, can we do this? So that's one thing I really appreciate about my mom. It's really fun. Yeah, with her.
So you always know that mommy was very, very selfless. She was always trying to give the best
Towards her children, I can say 100% yes.
That's a special mom. Adejumoke, what have you got to say about your mom?
Okay, you're going to make me teary now because...
Please, I've got a weakness for tears. Let me just warn you ahead. I know we're discussing mothers. Yes. You guys, if you try to be emotional, I'm sorry. I'll just start shedding tears here too.
Maybe
myself.
we should get tissue on time.
So think for me before you start getting emotional, please.
Okay, I'm going to try to be the hard girl now. But you see, my mom of blessed memory...
Oh, she passed.
Yeah, about 2 years ago.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. Okay, so, but actually, the thing that fascinates me about my mom while I was growing up is that she was very, very caring towards everybody. And there was hardly anything you bring to my mom. There are times I look at my mom and I'm like, how do you even want to care for everybody at the same time? You can't do this. Like, you need to rest. Somebody comes to her and say, we need this, we need that, even if she doesn't have it. While I was maybe working and all of that, give my mom money. The money is not for her. We have to tell her. In fact, when I was watching the video of her, what's it called? The burial and all of those things, people were still owing her money. People were still owing her money that they've not refunded back to her.
Okay.
Do you understand? And she was like, don't worry, you need this, don't worry, I'll give it to you. So I like the fact that she was very selfless. She was giving. You come to her with 10 things. She's not God, but she would actually settle, like, let's say 8 or 9 of it for you. So I envy that strength. And
she was an area mother,
area
caring
mommy.
for the whole street
And
and neighborhood.
always praying. There's no day you greet her, she's always replying with God bless you. Adafuen. That Adafuen is a watchword in the neighborhood.
Adafuen is just a prayer in her own village. That means it shall be well with you.
Yeah.
Lovely. Good memories, good fun memories of her. And I'm once again sorry that she's passed.
Thank you.
And you, Sandra?
Okay, for mine, I would say the fun fact about my mom is that she's a very prayerful person. And she's like the pillar in my house. Like, no matter how tired she is, I would always hear my mom pray during middle of the night. Growing up, when I wake up to use the restroom, I always hear my mom pray. And sometimes...
Did she ever have a night rest?
I don't even know. And sometimes each time I wake up and I just maybe put my ears to her door.
Why were you doing that?
Because sometimes I just want to hear what she's saying.
Oh,
and
no,
that's
weird.
Each time I do that, I keep hearing her praying for her children. She never stops praying for us. And I remember there are sometimes you'll be sleeping and my mom just walks to the room and she's already anointing all of us and all of that. Sometimes it just wakes me up. I'm like, this woman, do you ever rest? Do you get? And then in the morning she's already up and doing, like, she's even more active than those of us that had like the complete hours of sleep. She's always the one waking us up for our morning devotions, because most times when if she's not around, maybe she travels, we don't even do morning devotions in my house, because by the time we all wake up by 8, 9, everybody's tired. But when mommy is around 5 a.m. like this, she's already waking us up because she has to go about her business. So she wakes up us on time. Another thing I like about her is that the fact that she prays, she doesn't just pray for her family. Each time when we do our prayers together like family, I hear my mom calling some people's name that I don't even know who they are. I'm praying for so person's daughter, safe delivery. I'm praying for so. I just like the fact that she remembers people when she prays. And it's just something that I learned from her, and it's already like part of me now, that when I'm praying, before I finish my prayer, even if I've said the personal things I want, I remember some of my friends who I know have told me some things that they are going through that they really need the face of God to show. And I try to make sure that I bring them into my prayers as well. Sometimes someone will tell you, please put me in your prayers. And so I'm like, yeah, no problem. But do we really remember to do that? So mommy really taught me how to ensure to have people in our prayers, like putting them in our prayers, because sometimes you don't even know if it is the one you have said that has actually made it come true. Some people might have given up in those challenges they are going through and they are tired of praying. But if you are able to still help them to pray, that still is something very, very helpful. I remember one of our church members, so her daughter has been trying to join the husband in US, and each time she tries to apply for the visa, she gets denial. So I think the woman told my mom to be praying
and then
for
she
her.
just resumed the prayer
And
warrior.
then every time mom is always praying. So eventually she now called my mom that they finally granted the daughter the visa.
She'll be jumping up.
So mommy was excited, and the next thing she said is, she said, Mama Sandra, I cannot go forget this your prayer, because now you they always they put me for, now you they always they pray with me for. So it kind of gives more kind of fulfillment that people even know that when they tell her, she actually does pray for them. Yeah, so that's one fun fact about her
that's more than one now. Yeah, that's so much. I mean, and I'm really proud. I'm really proud. I feel jealous. Listen, and I'm very sincere. I feel jealous listening to what you guys have said about your mothers, and I'm starting to think that without moms, how would the life have been though? I mean, if she's the praying pillar in your family, if she's the one that is giving out what she has, what she does not have, she's the one that is always looking after your interests, always thinking of giving you the best, even when it's not convenient. Appreciate the mothers.
Yes, so
appreciate the mothers. And it's one thing to be the biological mothers. It's another thing to be the mothers of people that are just around you.
Yeah.
I've heard that from all of you right now, and I'm really, really so blessed. I mean, to have a mom myself too. I mean, it's great. It's great. So speaking of what you've learned. You've learned a lot of prayers from your mom.
Yeah.
Maybe I let maybe either Jumoke or Mrs. Makinde or speak about the things that they've also learned from their moms, like over the years. What are the things you've actually learned and that you would like to pass on to your children now? Hold on the thought, because you'll be telling us some other things that you don't want to pass on. Yeah, so let's dwell on the things that you've learned. I know you are going to be passing on prayer. Are you now a person of prayer now from mommy?
Of course.
A lot of prayer, right?
Yes.
Prayer contractor is making. All right then. So if you can go first, then Jimmy.
Okay, so my mom, aside the fact that my mom was a very selfless person, and one thing I would like about her, I really love about her, and I would like to pass around to people, is my mom is I already said that she's a prayerful person. She's selfless. She's very caring, like I said. And one thing I loved about her is that she loved her husband.
Yeah. She was a lover girl.
Oh, no. She loved her husband, and
So she taught you to be a lover girl.
No. You
say yes now. Say no.
I learned it from her. And there's something I learned from my mom is that I've passed on in my marriage now. Is you don't, okay, for instance, my dad gets her something that she doesn't like, or she knows that, okay, my dad brings this thing home, and she knows, she's a woman, she knows that this thing is actually 5 naira in the market, but my dad got it for 100 naira. She would not criticize and say, want to buy, they cheated you. She would appreciate it, even if it's something she doesn't like. She will make him feel that he has done something really good and special, and she will praise him and make him feel very happy. And I'm like, when my dad leaves, I'm like, but you don't like this thing, but you don't want. She's like, if I don't do that, when he sees the one that I would like, he's not going to get it.
So hold on, has she now made you a drama queen? Kind of. Like,
no, it's just being appreciative, actually, Sha.
In a dramatic way. Wow, I like that.
You can say that again.
And that's wisdom, you know.
Yeah, that's wisdom.
Because if I get you something I think you would like, and you do eventually like it, I don't feel happy about it. So if you make me feel like, oh, you actually like it, I'm happy, I'm fulfilled. Yeah. So lovely. So you've learned something great, to be a lover girl and to be a drama queen. Wow, a lot of CV I'm seeing there. All right, so you want to go?
Okay, so for me, right, my mom had taught me prayers. And when I say prayers, where you say we're coming to what we don't like, you know, when you go to those mountains.
Okay.
Even as a kid, when you start fasting, but it helped. Another significant thing about my mom that I really do appreciate is she doesn't underestimate anybody. Yes, even a kid, she doesn't look at a kid and say that, what would this person be for me? I must say, even the area boys that we think that they can never be anything in the future, mom feeds them.
Really?
Yes, she has a very big pot, so she does it. And when they come in and everything, even after, you know, doing some other things that they've done, come back, she showed them that motherly love that probably they didn't get, and they feel comfortable. So I feel my mom had taught me that you don't belittle anybody.
Yeah. Don't belittle
because
anybody. We don't know tomorrow.
Because she will always say that you have a mother today is a privilege, and probably they didn't get to experience this. The little time she's got to live, if she's going to be their mother, even though she's not enough to give birth to them, but she's going to be their mother at that instant. She's going to fill that gap. So it's really something that's, you know, when you see me and children, I don't segregate children. I don't say mind first and all that. It makes you say that all these are our children, and it's very important. It's key for me, and I've taken it and I'm running with it.
Yeah.
And you know, to be very honest, the children may not appear to understand if you were doing the opposite today. But when they grow up, they'll probably remember how they were segregated, how they were left out of your care, you know. So it's a very wise decision to take care of all the children together, because when they grow up, they'll remember fun things about how the impact you've had on their lives. So, that's very brilliant. That's very brilliant.
Oh, sorry, can I also
Go
say
ahead.
something that, from what you just said, I just remember the scenario that it doesn't even have to be when the children grow. Do you know that an area tout had helped me in the middle of the night before?
On account of being
Because
your
my
mom's
mom had
daughter.
fed him before.
Wow.
And God used him to save my life, save the life of my kid in the middle of the night.
Now that's
So
touching.
it's, sometimes we say, okay, whatever we're doing now, maybe your children will repeat. Yeah, but she also, as my mom at that moment, she's still alive. She's repeating it because if something had happened to her daughter and her grandchild, what would have happened? So it's really something I can never forget. So that's
Great lessons learned. Sandra, aside prayer, any other thing you want to share with us before we move on from this one?
Well, I would say that what I have learned from my mom, right?
Yeah, aside prayer. I think prayer is the most
Aside
thing you've
prayer.
learned, really.
I would say my mom is content with whatever she has. She's not the kind of woman that
She didn't put daddy under too much pressure.
She's not that kind of woman that wants to have what every other woman
So she
has.
hasn't turned daddy into a
Yes,
into
and
a
then
bribe person.
Exactly. So if there is something
I mean-
that we cannot afford at that time, she just makes us understand that we can't afford this thing now, and that is it. And if it is something that we could afford, she made sure that she
Brilliant.
provided it for us. So growing up, she has always given us this mindset of you can't always have what you want,
Everything.
and you can't always see what some other person have and wish to have it, because you don't even know how they got it or what they've done to get it. And also always just try and be happy with the what you have and trust God. She will just say that if you like what somebody has and you don't have it, you can pray to God to provide for you so you can afford it. But you don't have to start maybe beefing the person to say, why is it that this person has it and I don't have it?
And I don't have it.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's where comparison start coming in, and you start making yourself feel less of yourself and everything. So
Wow. You guys have said a lot of things, and I'm just imagining how so much of impact fathers have, because it seems mothers have all of the
this
impact
impact.
in a child and a family life,
What the
you
fathers
know.
have.
And I feel jealous. I feel jealous right now. But I have a comment. Nobody has mentioned that they've learned how to cook from their mothers. So how did you guys learn how to cook then? Nobody has mentioned mommy cooked the best local dish.
Oh.
Mommy did the best. So I've learned that, and I'm teaching my daughter and my son how to cook this.
okay.
obviously,
It's just like we didn't see it.
Yeah, because that's
from
like
my
a standard
opinion, it looks like yes, a standard.
Like a standard.
It's normal. It comes.
A
just,
mother must be able to.
Yes. So from there you draw the.
And mothers can
I'm sure
cook.
nobody will say my mother cannot cook. Yeah.
Okay. Lovely.
because sorry to cut you short. Because growing up, my mom made me start cooking on time. I think at maybe 14.
Was that on time?
I started cooking earlier than that.
Oh, maybe
Yeah.
because I'm the last child.
Oh,
I had my
maybe.
elder siblings that did all these things. But I think I started cooking when I was in GSS 3 or so. I think 14 or so. So mom would say, go and boil rice. So she started with boiling rice.
And then there were a
when
lot of
she
salt.
when she said make stew was the worst thing I ever want to make, because she
Obviously.
wants me to keep stirring it so it
You know that
doesn't
water
get
separation
burnt.
thing? There'll be water
and
apart, there'll be oil apart.
You
I
know?
don't
There
think
will
it's
sit
that
in an
bad.
island.
So my mom would make sure that I stirred the stew to her satisfaction. So during the process, I just
Became
started
perfect.
learning it. But I know that at least before I even got into university, I knew how to make most of the dishes.
Lovely.
Okay, so I think concerning the food area, I think my mom, like every other person's mom, knows how to cook and all that. I think for me, my mom's own is just the fact that she was creative with cooking. Just that you can't come to my house and eat normal food. If I'm cooking rice, I'm actually putting sweet corn, green beans, cabbage, whatever.
All manner of things.
My mom would make akara. While the akara is in the oil, my mommy would use a small spoon to split it in the middle and put egg.
Okay.
That's how
Wow.
dramatic or creative she is with cooking. So I learned that from her too. So I can't eat normal food, like it's just gonna be boring. Let me just say that.
I see. You guys have had a very wonderful childhood, you know. And you know that thing that your mother was always the best cook in the world, you know. It was always in our head.
That feeling.
Yeah, I feel like no, your mom can't cook as much as my mom. My mom, so always used to brag about that growing up.
I
Great,
know.
great. Let's talk about something interesting now. I know why you said a lot of nice things about mommy. There were times mommy scolded you. Maybe when you are nodding your head like countless times. Yeah, so let's talk about all those chastisements. Now that you're of age and you are mothers yourselves today, do you see a sense in those corrections she was making? Have you come to agree with her? Because a lot of psychology between a mother and a daughter in the house was always interesting, right? Let me not say the other one, right? So now, have you come to agree that mommy was actually right?
You know, speaking from a first child, the only girl, I would say that the beatings were too much. They could have done it.
We can just say
in a better way.
scolding,
Yeah.
no?
We're talking about the scolding, they were too much. They could have done it better. It was harsh, you know. As a mother, we could have done things differently. We are doing it differently and can still give us the same result, you know. Growing up in an environment, that's past. Of course, she has also learned that it's not going to work anymore. You know, when people will be asking you, are you sure that's your mom?
Really? She was that hard?
Asking you, because mothers see, especially their only daughters, as their image, and you feel, yes, and they don't want you to spoil everything that they've built if they are good people in the area, you know, and they're like monitoring spirits.
So she was on your case.
On my case. So, but
I won't blame her.
But you mentioned something. The lessons learned over time. Yeah, things could have been done differently, would have given us the same result. But when I look back, I really appreciate that. Those lessons. It's not about the scolding alone and everything. The words of advice, and we think they are bugging you too much. You know, when you are reaching the adolescent age and you feel that those who might
I've known it all now, yeah.
Yeah.
I've known my kid.
But when you look back, you appreciate it. So we could have done things differently. Of course, I didn't like them, but we could have done it differently.
Yeah, but now you appreciate the things now.
Yeah.
Jumoke, any example of some corrections you felt she was overdoing, for instance?
In her own case, where she said people were asking if it was her mom, it was me. I asked her, like, did you really give birth to me? So as the last child of the family, I'm used to being pampered. My name is Adejumoke. Adejumoke means everybody
is
must
taking care
pamper.
of this child.
Okay,
So
that's the meaning.
what do you say? That's the meaning of my name. Yeah. So you see, the only time I was scolded was maybe my dad was, and how do I say it? Is he an academic? Blah blah blah. He wants you to always get first. So the times I come second in class.
Why did you come second?
Oh my God! Sometimes it's not. So it was me being scolded, lashed properly. But you see, for my mom, the things that I feel like I didn't like about her growing up, but now I see that has helped me is maybe house chores. I was in the boarding school. My mom had a maid, and I tell you categorically that every time I get home from school, the maid is on leave.
Because you resumed.
Oh, I'm telling you, I've resumed everything. And I'm like, do you understand? There are times that my mom wants to do something. She'll tell the maid to sit down, and she'll ask me to go and do it. And I'm like,
you thought she was being mean.
No, are we not paying this person and all that? And there was one time, I think I wanted to stand up and go and grant a request, and then I intentionally stepped on the maid. That was like the end of my life.
Oh.
She did not only beat me, my dad came. She even said things that I did not do. Do you understand? I paid for it very well. But looking at all those house chores now, look at me now. I can do mommy and I want things at the same time. So I think that it's me. I thought that she was being mean at that time, but it was just grooming me.
Speaking of house chores, my mommy, you know, on a Friday night when this is just weekend now, Friday, I'll be sleeping till anytime I want to wake up on Saturday morning. No, My mommy will wake us up at 5:30 in the morning. Come and start cleaning the house. I'll be like, mommy. She say we could have visitors. Visitors should stay in their houses, please. We need to sleep. Can you imagine that? Waking you up on a Saturday morning, going nowhere, come and start scrubbing, come and start. Oh no.
After the big stress.
You get when you woke up very early, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I mean, Saturday, let's be pampered, but that's how mommies are, you know.
Yeah.
And then you said the culture is now in you, so you can do all the chores. They are not difficult right now, effortlessly. Agreed. Sandra?
Yeah, I think mine is similar to Jumoke's own. Growing up, I didn't like chores. So each time they asked me to even wash the plates, I start feeling like I'm sick. I start crying.
You be dramatic.
So most times, I won't say my dad spoils me, but when my dad is around, and I start stamping my feet
for a daddy. Yeah, at least some there's a point now.
So my dad will be like, is it that if she doesn't want this plate, there's no other person out of everybody in this house? She says she cannot watch the plate, people should allow her, let her stay. Do you understand? So sometimes when I know that the plates are getting hip, because growing up, my house we're much. We are 6 children plus then my parents, and then growing up we had people staying with us. So many people living with us that I don't even know who they are. Maybe they'll start explaining to me. She's a cousin to your mommy's side. So we had these boys, like in the Igbo language they call it Odubo, like those people that serve people. So they were living with us like for years before they will now get settlement. So if you come to my kitchen when they finish eating like this, as if they threw a party.
They devoured everything.
So it's so much. I feel like my mom would have even cultivated that habit of
getting them to
wash your plates, because we are plenty. Everybody should be washing their plates.
One person should not wash everything.
Do you understand? It was so much work, and that was like the only thing I was even doing because I wasn't even cooking.
Can you imagine?
So then I just felt like, is this not too much for one person to be doing? I can use almost 2 hours to wash plates because they are so much. So sometimes when I see the plates are getting heaped, I just
got panic attack.
Sometimes I just start crying, or I'll just run to my daddy's room and I'll stay there. Until when I notice that I start hearing sound that they have started washing the plates. Then I'll now come outside. But the thing is that when I eventually come out and I just walk past my mom, she'll now pull my ear, or she'll just do that. You will know that she's upset with you. Hey. So that's like the thing I didn't. I just felt like she would have just changed that aspect of, you know, that I don't know, but growing up I didn't really like chores, and then she would keep saying that you are a woman, you get married, all these things will come. I will not live with your husband, and let me just even say the truth. Now I'm beginning to realize those things that she was saying to me, because when I wake up sometimes in the morning I have a lot to do, I just remember saying, it's true. My mom was actually telling me this. Now she's actually not here and I still have my things to do. I have to wash my plate, take care of my son, do a lot of things. I know.
Take care of your husband, you know. Like we should be taken care of, you know. Yeah.
Those things, they were hurtful then, but on the long run, we are getting to realize that they were just trying to build us for the future and everything.
Interesting. Okay, I think so much about our mothers. Let's go from our mothers now. Let's talk about ourselves now as moms. Yeah. So let me start. What were your expectations before motherhood? Whatever you heard, whatever you saw, whatever you had in your mind, are those words you've now seen in reality? You know, there's a word on the street that they say marriage is a scam because you don't get to know. Yeah, so in motherhood terms now, have you met what you hoped to meet in terms of being mothers yourselves?
Okay, let me go first. I would say that it's like the case of what I ordered versus what I got.
Tell me about it.
You know, when I was growing up, I loved children. I still love children, you know. But I forgot that they just spend maybe like 2 hours with me. And I'm fond of them. I'm like, oh, why is this woman not taking care of our child? That can never be me. When I give it to my child, maximum attention. I will never look at my child. I will never scold my child and everything. Oh, fast forward to
reality.
You know, sometimes you just feel like going back to singlehood.
Tell me.
For that moment, not that you don't love them anymore, but you know, you miss that quiet. But then sometimes you go back and say, okay, this is what God has. That's how they are. That's how children are. It's part of the fun. You just try to look for the fun part of it, even when they are making noise or they are doing something. So the truth is, when I was growing, I see it as there's nothing more adorable than having your child. In fact, I was not going to allow anybody to come near my child because the 24 hours a day is not even enough for me to hold my child. Man, instead begging people to help us.
Especially in this UK.
Yes. Come and help. Can you take this child for like 2 hours? I want to do this. I want to do that. So the truth is, it doesn't change the fact that we love those kids. But
but in
reality, you need yourself. You need your
demands.
space. You need your sanity sometimes to be able to even nurture them the way you want. So,
before anybody goes next, that sentence that she made about, I always have it in my mind that am I sure these mothers don't ever think of resigning their role once in a while like that? Does anybody echo that thought also? So it's general.
Yeah.
Once in a while.
It's real for me. That's why I said sometimes
just want that me time.
I want to go back to
you just want to wake up, stay in bed,
but you can't eat
watch
your cake
movie,
and
do
keep some in the
everything
fridge
without that's like the last time I ever had that kind of feeling was
Sanity.
last year when I traveled to Italy to my brother's house. So my nephews and nieces, they are all grown. Do you know I'll sleep? By the time I wake up, they've all gone to school. When I wake up, my brother's wife should have kept my food in the microwave. I would eat. I would watch movie. In fact, I spent just 5 days like this. I felt like I stayed for 1 month. My husband said, "You don't want to come back." I said, "Just hold your son there," because that's the first time in my entire life since I had my son that I didn't really have to wake up to think of somebody else. It was just me.
About you.
And I feel like every mother should be doing that like once in a while. You don't really have to travel. Maybe go somewhere else apart, like outside your home, and just have that time, even if it's for a day or two. It really helps.
Sounds like it would be a mental health what's English now, therapy kind of, to have that kind of breaks rather than thinking of resigning. All right, let's go back to that former conversation now.
Okay. While I was growing up, the only thing not while I was growing up, I have elder siblings and I stayed with them sometimes when while the kids were growing up. And the only thing that scared me while I was at that age was, are you saying that I will wake up Monday to Friday and prepare a child for school? Like, it was like
it was your responsibility.
I'm like, how do you want me to do it? Like, prepare and give him lunch, and it was not like you have to make different kind of food for him. So it was like a crazy thing for me while I was growing up. But you see now, having a 6-year-old son, and sometimes, like I said, maybe because he's a bit grown, and when I need my space, I just say, okay, please, can you go read your books? Or can you go watch cartoon? Or can you please do this for me? And then I'll have my time. It can be tiring. And the reason why, sometimes I may be like, I want to go back to, can we just pause this stage? And that's because when I want to shop for things online, I may decide, okay, I'm going to spend, let's just assume £100 on myself. But, by the time I see this for him, I am not buying anything for myself. I am buying everything for him. And I'm like, when do I even get to... I got a job and I needed to start wearing corporate. I'm like, I don't even have shoes to wear. Like, can I even wear shoes to work and all that? So I think sometimes the things that just interest me is, okay, for instance, there was the day I got back from work. I was really tired. I did like back-to-back shift and I was very tired. And when I got back, I just went to the bed straight. He noticed that I was really tired. And he went to bring the massage gun. And he was massaging my back for me. I was sleeping, and that's not even the interesting part. The interesting part was, I just said, "Mommy, are you having a headache?" I said, "Yes." And he put the massage gun on my forehead. And when he noticed that it was vibrating, he laid his hand in between my head and was massaging. And I'm like, I just felt love this time. I'm like, this is all manner of love. So those are the things that just keep me going. Like, we can do this. Don't worry. We can survive.
Yeah. So Sandra, so that I don't let you echo those thoughts too much, I want to ask you now, from the experiences that they've mentioned, which you also kind of agree with. let's talk about the childbirth, the pain of childbirth, right? For whatever method the child has come out through, is not always painless. It's got pain in it. From all of these experiences, I would think that in a rational person should not think of
Going
back.
Again.
So if you can add the perspective of why do you people still go back? Yes, why?
Well, I would say that I believe that before you got married, you already have like a desire of how many children you want to have.
Fine, but you never experienced.
You never experienced it yet, but the pain comes and it goes. It's not like it's something that was forever. It was just for that moment, and your healing process of like couple of weeks after childbirth and all. Apart from the stress, but someone like me, I know I don't want to have one child. I know it's stressful, but
so
You've forgotten the pain.
I've forgotten the pain. Yeah.
And then you're back to it again.
I've forgotten the pain, to be very honest.
I think that's what makes women
I've
strong
forgotten the
and
pain,
special.
yeah. Maybe because by the grace of God, I didn't have any complication after birth. Some women do. I have a lady yesterday, I was having a conversation with her. She said she still feels pain on her pelvic.
Oh.
And sometimes when she's even trying to pee, she feels a very sharp pain. And I never had those experiences. And her baby is about 5 months old now. I know my son is about 21 months, but I told her maybe over time you'll feel better. But in my mind, I knew that when my baby was 5 months old, I didn't know anything about that kind of pain. Do you understand? So, and her own process of birth and mine is the same. So I just feel like women are peculiar to these things, and it depends on what you went through. Some women during childbirth almost lost their life. So that trauma would even make them not want to try again. That wasn't my case. Apart from the pain.
Exactly.
I don't think so.
I beg to differ.
People still try even after
Really?
the trauma.
Yeah.
After the trauma, they still
And
want
that
to.
does not. I
Even
don't
after
understand.
you feel like your life
The
is
Bible
being.
said
Do you know that some women, when they are
it's
giving
going to
birth,
forget the pain. So
Okay, so
the Bible said it.
I know,
confirmed
but
it.
you know some
It will
women
make
during
us forget the pain.
childbirth, some women, like, it's as if their life is on the line. So it's even very scary for you to want to try
They
again.
will
Like those
forget.
people that have high risk pregnancy.
I know. I've watched movies where women in labor have been cursing their husbands.
That's just
Fast
like
forward to 2 years after.
2 years is too much.
They are pregnant
No,
again.
see, what I'm trying to say is not the labor pain. No. I'm talking of,
I
there are
get
some women
you.
that during childbirth, they have those excess
life-changing
bleeding.
situations.
So women even go into ICU, different kind of. So those kind of things can even be very scary for. Apart from the labor pain, those complications that
Those are
come
the
after is
intense
what
scenarios,
might be
though.
scary to some women want to go again.
Okay, may I add in that? Yeah, I know you're right about the complications and all that. But do you look back to when the world was not this civilized?
Mm-hmm.
There's no medical, the medical, how do I say, knowledge that we have wasn't this sophisticated, and they still give birth to like more than 2-3 children. So the answer that I would have given is in John 16:21. A woman, when she's in travel, at sorrow because her hour is gone, but as soon as she's delivered of the child, she remembered no more the anguish for joy that a man is born into the world. Those children are beautiful things.
They make you
Let me use
forget
things.
pain.
They make you forget that pain, to be honest. So I think that it's just natural, and the way God has made us, and is even in the Bible, you know that. But you forget your pain. Well, I want to ask, if you have stomach pains and they say stop eating this and that, sometimes you go back to it. Not that you don't, remember those pains. Well, it's just natural that, we are weighing the good and the pain, and we say that children are good things that have come from the Lord.
I just feel like if it's something that is very risky, that almost would take someone's life, it's even better to just have the one you have. Because I have some like from my mom's side, when she was having the first time she had her first child, she had complications that she almost lost her life. They managed the situation. when she was having her second child, she didn't come out of it. She finally died.
Oh,
And it
but
was
see,
what
that's what I'm
happened the
trying to
previous
discuss,
time.
that
So
she
people were
still
even now
went
saying
through
that
it.
it was even when she died, the husband was not saying it happened in the previous pregnancy. People were even now saying,
So why did
since
you
it happened, you guys should have just
move on with one?
just go on with one. If you needed more, maybe go for adoption. That's what I'm even just trying to say, because
I get you,
women
I get
really
you.
put their life
On the line.
on the line. People
It's
just
a
see
lot
it
of
as normal
sacrifice.
labor, pain, and all. But there are a lot of women that a lot of things happen to them,
I
and
know,
there's
but-
nothing that breaks my heart like hearing a woman dying during childbirth.
Because of
It's so painful.
pregnancy. I know.
Yeah, but sorry, I would like to say there are two different things, When that's why I said, I mentioned earlier that the times that we never had this sophisticated medical knowledge, you understand. But now that we know, we are not saying that what's it's on ground. You've been diagnosed. They've told you 1,001 things that could happen and everything. No, even the Bible says we should be as wise as serpents. We are not expected to go through that journey, but we are just saying that even if we don't go through that journey, we desire it. That's one of the yes. We desire it. We're just talking about the pain that we forget those pains and we desire to have more. So.
All right.
It's just natural.
A story came to my mind while you were mentioning the joy of a woman when you were reading that scripture.
Yeah.
I remember my wife, we were having a scan, right? And then when they say drink a lot of water, so the sonographer can be able to read the tummy very, very well. So she was so full and she was crying that she wanted to pee before it was our turn to go in. With all the pain she had, all the discomfort, the moment she saw on the screen that there was a child in there and they were now doing all the manner of things they were doing, my wife forgot that she wanted to pee. The doctor himself had to say, but a few seconds ago you were crying that you wanted to.
That's what we're talking about.
So that joy of, that's my baby. She forgot entirely that she wanted to pee. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting how life is. Please, let's talk about the pressures as mothers now. How are you guys able to handle family and work? Or is any of you a stay-at-home mom? Okay, I think I have my answer. I have my answer. So how are you able to then, all the love and affection, the care you want to dish out to these children, how have you been able to manage that with the work demand pressures? I mean, how has it been?
If you ask me, I would just say that I personally have been intentional. As a mother, you have to be intentional. Everything is just staring at you in the face. 1,001 reason why you should not even care about the child and all that. But you've got the responsibility. As Christians, we are stewards. We'll give account. So, and remember that mothers are good managers, So we
really?
Yes,
Okay,
we are good
You
managers.
haven't said better, but you said they are good managers.
We are good. We are better managers.
You can leave it at that.
Good. I said good managers because I'm not. But if you want me to compare, then we are better managers. Just
Then
say
we
good
can have a
managers.
debate later.
Later about that. so we do something that we call place priorities. We organize. It may not be easy, but you find a way out because we cannot afford to drop the ball. When you drop the ball, especially when it comes to nurturing children, it has a far-reaching effect. So
you've been intentional.
We have to be intentional, organize things, do this. It may not be easy. It is not anyway easier, but when you're intentional, you find a way and you find a way to rest. It is very important. And that's what has kept me going.
I'm asking that question because, once you resume the job as a mother, it never stops. It's a lifetime rule. I mean, even when they grow up, they get married, you are still thinking about them.
Even when they are
praying
married,
for them.
yes.
Even when they have children, you are
Yes.
still thinking for their children. It's just mothers are just beautiful.
Yeah.
Mothers are just beautiful. Let me know. Do you want to go? Do you want to have it? Okay, go ahead then. I wanted to move on, but it looks like you're interested in that one.
So I think for me, like she said, it's being intentional. So my husband and I, we sat down and we said, okay, we want to make money. and at the same time, we've got a child that God has put in our care, and we are going to be accountable for him. So what we did is we looked at our strengths. You are more patient than I am. Okay, please, when it comes to academics and all of this, please handle it. Because once I ask words 2 times, 3 times, I don't know it, I can be upset and all of that. So, but me, I am intentional about the maybe trainings. You don't do this, you don't do that. Exactly. Yeah. So we made sure that it's very difficult, but with the help of family and friends around us, I think that has made it easy that we're at home. You understand? So, okay, if dad is not at home by this time, mom is at home, you understand? And somebody's seeing that he has done something that is not okay, and we know that, okay, we need to look out for this particular behavior, and just what I'm saying. So I think...
So being intentional, division of labor in your own family. Any addition?
Well, to mine, I would say wherever my husband is right now, God bless him.
Respect to that man.
So he has been the one that has made it a lot easier for me. Because, we had our son here. It's different from back home where you have people that can help you. So my husband has really been there since our son arrived, and he has still been there. So the only thing we did when we decided on the job and everything was that he said the best thing for us to do is that I should be working remotely. Then he can either get a hybrid job or going to the office. But if I'm working remotely, when he's not around, I can be able to look after our son. So I work remotely and I work from home, but at night from 8 p.m. to like the next morning. So the good thing is that before my shift starts, I ensure that everything that has to do with our son, his feeding and everything, it's sorted.
That's a good plan that you are.
Yeah. So by the time I resume, he's not going to be with his dad until he falls asleep. So he ensures that he stays with him, engages him, and all.
Division of labor again.
Yeah. Most times he even is the one that had to beat him at night, because I hardly beat him during like morning. Yeah, it's only at night. So when it's that time to beat him, my husband will say, okay, don't worry, I'll take care of that. So he beats him, puts him to sleep, and I stop hearing his voice. I just know that, this guy slept and everything. So he has just been very supportive.
Bless the dad.
Yeah.
So second point for daddies.
Very supportive daddy.
So he has been the one that has really been. And then when it has to do with grocery shopping, he would be the one to go. All I have to do is just to tell him what I need. You
still have that behavior of, that.
No, but when it comes to the cooking, when it comes to the cooking, I do all the cooking. Obviously. And I think he enjoys going for grocery shopping, because he sometimes, even when he's going back from the office, he will come and say, "Did you need anything?" I'll just tell him, "Okay, this, let me get this and all." Yeah. And then, but when it comes to
it's
cooking,
my brother. I think we have a lot of things in common.
I do that, yeah. So that's just the only way we'll be able to find balance in the whole thing.
All right. Can we just talk quickly about there's a feeling I have that I think some mothers have some doubt, some self-doubt. They feel like, anybody here feels like I'm not doing enough for my child? Yeah. Like I should be doing 1, 2, 3, 4, but I'm only doing 1, maybe even just 2. For instance, how does that feeling? Is that feeling real to anybody here? Like,
well, I would say that sometimes I feel like I don't engage my son a lot with some of his, maybe his toys or some of his.
You want to spend more time.
His shapes, those shapes that he's learning how to fix. There's this box he has that has different types of shape.
Puzzles.
Like a puzzle, but you have to like a star,
Lego,
circle.
Things.
So I feel like I'm not dedicating so much time to do it for him. Most of the time is him and his dad. So there was a day I saw him, he was trying to put them in, and he now knows how to put the star, the circle, the square, and I was so proud. But in my mind, I was like I didn't participate in his thing. It was his dad. So in my own way, I was like, I don't think I'm doing so much. I think in this aspect, I'm really lacking behind and all of that. So I just told you that I want to, like, the fact was like, you have all these things, so you can try. It's not sometimes when you feel you're free, that's when you remember you want to press your phone, you want to go on social media, those kind of a thing. So that's just the way I feel like I'm not really engaging him. personally.
Yeah, she has mentioned it.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're a mother out there and then you're feeling like you're not doing enough, you're feeling a feeling of self-doubt. At least the story that I've heard here is that there is the other hand. There are two hands, right? So if you are not doing as much, the other hand, as a supportive husband, like yours truly, I mean, doing a good job too. I mean, well, just it's a teamwork. So don't beat yourself about it. I mean, you are trying your best, and God sees your heart.
Yeah.
Finally, because the church theme for the Women's Week is the Blessed Woman, coming from Proverbs 31. I like that scripture. Is anybody? Okay, I'll ask individually. Yes or no? So, do you think you fit into that picture of Proverbs 31, Mrs. Makinde?
Yes.
Mrs. Adejubo, okay?
Absolutely.
Mrs. Sandra?
Of course.
Oh, so you have 3 Proverbs 31 women here. Lovely. Okay, that's interesting. But which part of that scripture would you really love more? There's a part that says she looks at a field, she buys it, looks at business, looks at the home, looks at children. You say a woman, verse 28 is where we actually our theme is at. Let me try and read it out for us. Proverbs 31 verse 28. Her children arise up, from King James Version, and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praiseth her. So, from all you've said, from all your experiences, you're looking. Are you looking towards, or are you already enjoying your children looking at you? From experience of your little boy, you've given you a massage already. I think he thinks he calls you blessed. I mean, yeah, and I mean, so just a brief touch up on that as we round off now on this special tribute to mothers. Talk about anything you want to talk about now from that Proverbs 31, 38, where the husbands and children are celebrating their mothers, which is what we're doing today. Anyone can go for it.
Okay. So you want us to choose a particular...
Just in 30 seconds.
A particular one.
Exactly. Any
one of them.
That, or anything, any closing remarks from Proverbs 31?
Yeah, like I said earlier, I can categorically say that I'm a Proverbs 31 woman and hoping to be a better Proverbs 31 woman because we keep learning.
32 then?
Yeah, no. But you can be an expert at it, do more. So one thing that I like about it and resonates with me is the part that people look at our husband at the gates of the streets and they say that the man is yes, and they honor the man at the gate of the streets because
on
of the
account
woman.
of the woman.
Yes.
So she's a well-behaved woman.
Yes.
They know her and they respect her husband.
Yes.
So your husband is well respected now.
Yeah, he's well respected. Anywhere he goes.
30 seconds from you, Adeju, again.
Okay, so I think I like the part where you said a virtuous woman keeps her own. So that I can give myself 101.
I mean, your mom was a lover girl, and you've learned that 100. It's a 110 over 100 for you over the world. Yeah, Sandra.
Yeah, something like what Tumake said, like a supportive woman. Just ensure that I'm there for my partner, my husband, whenever he needs me, and I can read in between the lines when I know that he's like in that moment. You know, my husband lost his mom about 3 years ago now. So sometimes I know.
So you are the mom now.
Yeah. So he calls me that. So sometimes I know that he still feels the pain of his mom. Sometimes when I see him very calm, I already know that he's in that moment. So I just try to make him snap out of it. And sometimes when he cries, I say, no, it's okay to cry, because I feel like sometimes when he cries, he feels better. And it also makes me don't even want to really have issues with him, because when we are having like our misunderstanding, I now stay on my own, you know, that kind of a thing.
So he's not alone.
He will now feel, sometimes I now feel like I'm seeing him in that mood of, is he missing his mom?
You see, everything you people have said here today, if somebody misses that kind of person in his life, that person has missed a whole lot. And that's where we end it.
Let me just say one thing, sorry. There was a day, because I was like, my husband is such a big baby, because How are we having issues and we are not talking to each other for that day? And I'm sitting down on this couch, he's sitting down on the other couch, and then he woke up. He was now acting like he's not feeling. I said, "What is wrong with you?" He said, I just want to lie down and put my head on your thigh. I said, "Is that what you want?" So yeah, come, because I already saw him that he's already acting like me and him.
It's okay now.
We should be petting each other now.
It's
okay. We just
now.
have to let it go and forget about. Even though he did what made me angry, but
it's alright. It's alright. Alright, so I mean, this is where we draw the curtain on this special episode dedicated to the mothers. I've been joined by 3 beautiful young mothers, and they've bared it all. I mean, they've shared their minds on how it's been, the journey pre-motherhood to motherhood. They've said a whole lot about their mothers themselves, and Sandra's husband has lost his mom. I mean, she's lost something, and Adejumoke too can testify that. In short, it's irreplaceable. Mothers are irreplaceable jewels in our lives. I want to thank you once again, Deborah Makinde, Adejumoke, and Sandra. Thank you very much for honoring us on the Cheref podcast to discuss mothers. And this is from me, Olubinga Ogunleye, your host, signing out. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. We appreciate you joining us today. We hope you have learned something and have been blessed. Don't forget to visit us if you are in the Birmingham area in the UK at 5 Matching Road, Eddington, B236DR. And follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and on YouTube. Search Foursquare Gospel Church Birmingham on your search engine and you will find us. If you are not around us, please find a Bible-believing church and connect with God. Remember, we would love to hear from you. Send us a DM on our Instagram page at trf.podcast. Have a wonderful rest of the week. God bless you.